I'm 27. I slept with a fat guy, and honestly, I really liked it. I met a guy who obviously liked me. He's very big, clearly over 130 kilograms, so much larger than me. He wasn't my type physically, or at least that's what I thought at first. But he was handsome, just big. This guy asked me out, and he turned out to be so sweet that I agreed. I thought that, at worst, we would just have a good time. We went out for dinner, and it ended up being pretty fun. While we were talking, I suddenly realized how biased my attitude toward him had been. I thought he'd order a burger and a couple of beers, but he chose a very light meal. I asked if he wasn't hungry, and he told me he was trying to lose weight, but the medications he has to take make it really hard. They changed his metabolism and energy levels. He explained everything in detail and said that he still does light regular workouts within what's possible and follows a strict diet. This year, he had already lost almost 18 kilograms. In that moment, I felt genuinely proud of him. After dinner, he suggested going to his place to watch a movie on Netflix and have a drink. We were having such a great time talking that I agreed. His apartment turned out to be very cozy. We watched the latest part of It and drank. During one of the scary moments, I jumped and instinctively grabbed him. He was so warm and soft, like a big teddy bear. I looked at him and kissed him without even thinking. We kept kissing, and then we had sex. And honestly, it was the best sex of my life. He was so gentle and attentive, and I enjoyed every minute of it. In the morning, I woke up in his arms, noticed he had morning wood, and we did it again. After that, we agreed to see each other again. I really like him, and I don't care what society thinks about his weight, which is more than twice mine. He is incredibly sweet and caring. It feels amazing to cuddle with him, and honestly, he's probably the best lover I've ever had.
On our first date, he was combing lice out of my hair. A little backstory. I'm 25. I work as a teacher's assistant in a kindergarten. Unfortunately, lice, in our case, are an occupational hazard, not a sign of someone being dirty. A month ago, I met a guy on Tinder. Yes, I know, a questionable place. Let's call him D. He's 26. Funny enough, I swiped him by accident. I literally dropped my phone. He liked me back, and I didn't undo the swipe because his first message was funny. We texted for a couple of weeks before deciding to meet. On the day we were supposed to have our first date, I discovered that one of my lovely students had gifted me lice. I was horrified and realized he probably wouldn't believe me and would think I was just making up an excuse. I immediately texted him, saying I needed to go to the pharmacy for lice treatment and that we needed to postpone the date. As expected, he didn't believe me at first, and I completely understood. I wasn't mad. I bought the treatment, video called my friend, and burst into tears. She came up with a brilliant idea: send him a picture of my misery and the lice treatment. I asked him if he was ready for something like that, and D said, "Go ahead, show me." As soon as he saw that I was actually crying and holding the treatment, he unexpectedly offered to come over and help comb the lice out. I asked my friend what to do, and she said, "Obviously, say yes." I gave him my address, applied the treatment, it needed some time to work, and went outside to meet him. This man, whom I had never met before, spent 2 hours of his life combing lice out of my hair. The whole time, we talked, joked, and told each other about our interests. Basically, we behaved like on a normal first date. He was incredibly gentle, patient, and kind. He never once made me feel embarrassed. On the contrary, he tried to lighten the mood and laugh about the situation. By the time we finished dealing with the lice and all the accompanying chaos, laundry, packing up clothes and bedding, etc., it was almost 10 p.m., and the Mexican restaurant we wanted to go to was close to closing, so we went somewhere else. This man, after everything he had just done, still wanted to take me to dinner, even after combing bugs out of my hair. Naturally, I decided that since he had already seen me at my absolute worst, there was no point in being shy. So I ordered a Guinness and a burger. It had been a long day, and I just wanted real food. For some reason, he still felt like he needed to impress me, so he ordered a Guinness too, even though he normally only drinks light beer. It was his first time trying it. I ended up drinking 2 glasses, and he only managed 1 sip.
He didn't like it. He said he was impressed with me and that no girl had ever ordered what she actually wanted on a first date. He didn't let me pay, even though I tried after everything he had done for me. At the end, he asked if we could see each other again soon, and we made plans for later that week. Update: the second date went even better than the first. We finally went to that Mexican restaurant we missed last time. Then, while we were watching a movie, he suggested checking my hair again, just to be safe. And yes, I was already lice-free. Yay! We watched Tall Girl, and he kept quoting the lines ahead of time. I couldn't stop laughing, and was glad he liked girly movies. We talked about life goals and politics, and realized we share very similar views. We had a lot in common. Even my antisocial cat approved of him, a huge green flag. She usually doesn't let anyone near her, but she curled up in his lap after he checked my hair. He's incredibly sweet and witty, and I feel like I can talk to him about real things. This weekend, we're going to a pumpkin patch and a haunted house. Update: hello. We are officially dating now. He's the kindest man I've ever been with. I know it's maybe too early to say this, but I think I might have accidentally swiped on my future husband. I introduced him to my friends, and they loved him immediately. For my birthday, he took me to a terrifying haunted trail, even though he doesn't really like horror. Recently, we started reading Plato together, and it turned out to be so much fun. I love classics, and so does he. It was great discussing our thoughts as we read. Even my antisocial cat approved of him, a huge green flag. She usually doesn't let anyone near her, but she curled up in his lap after he checked my hair. He's incredibly sweet and witty, and I feel like I can talk to him about real things. This weekend, we're going to a pumpkin patch and a haunted house. Update: hello too. We are officially dating now. He's the kindest man I've ever been with. I know it's maybe too early to say this, but I think I might have accidentally swiped on my future husband. I introduced him to my friends, and they loved him immediately. For my birthday, he took me to a terrifying haunted trail, even though he doesn't really like horror. Recently, we started reading Plato together, and it turned out to be so much fun. I love classics, and so does he. It was great discussing our thoughts as we read. Why are women still judged for their sexual past more harshly than men? I've seen plenty of posts on Reddit where men admit that they feel anxious about the past of their wives or girlfriends. The common question is, could you marry a woman with a high number of past partners? And in about 90% of cases, the answer is no. Most women I know feel ashamed to admit if they had casual hookups or to say how many partners they've had. Everyone has a right to their own preferences, but why does society still hold on to this mindset? Or why do you personally? This isn't my opinion, but this is how it's been explained to me. In the world of dating, men are often seen as the hunters. They have to put in effort to get a woman's attention, approach, start conversations, ask for dates, and so on. If an average man makes no effort, he gets no attention. And if he manages to attract women often, people think he's impressive. With women, it works the opposite way. They usually don't have to try as hard to get attention. Even if an average girl does nothing, there will still be men wanting to meet her. You can see this even here on Reddit. If a woman writes a provocative comment, her inbox fills up instantly. That's why a woman with a lot of sexual experience is not seen as a successful hunter, but as someone who doesn't really filter who she's with and is easy to get. Again, this is not my opinion, just an explanation of a common line of thinking. She gave me the best compliment I've ever received. We've been talking for about a week, and honestly, I can't remember the last time I felt this strong of an attraction to someone. She understands my winding, quirky sense of humor. She's very smart, honest, and also sweet. A few days ago, we had a deep conversation about love and relationships, about what we're looking for when dating. And she said, "Who taught you to be exactly the kind of person I've always been looking for?" I said I didn't know. I'm just the way I am. Then she asked why I wasn't in a relationship, and I told her that lately I'd talked to a few girls, but there wasn't much interest on either side, and added that maybe they just weren't interested in what I have to offer. To which she replied, "Poor girls, they just weren't ready for you." I've gotten compliments about my hair, my eyes, or other physical features, but the fact that she complimented me as a whole person, that's a completely different level. I struggle with self-esteem, and I've reached the point where I thought, maybe I'm just not right for anyone. So the fact that this girl is drawn to me for who I am and values me in a way no one has in a long time genuinely touched me. A colleague asked why I'm still not married. I hear this question quite often, usually from men who are married but not very happily. This particular colleague had asked it more than once and clearly showed interest in me, which I quickly shut down. I don't get involved with married men. Eventually, I decided to explain everything to him. I'm an independent woman. I earn my own money. I have my own home, a car, savings, and a wonderful dog who keeps me company. So, I'm looking for a man not based on what he has, but based on who he is. I want a companion, a partner, a best friend, someone with whom I can have a deep connection, someone to go through life with, someone who will bring more peace to my life than stress. I'm looking for a man who wants the same from a woman. Partnership, not just a mom for his kids, a housekeeper, or a replacement for his mother. And most men around me, unfortunately, want exactly that, but with conditions attached. We talked with my colleague for almost 10 minutes, and strangely enough, he still didn't understand. He said, "Well, you're so beautiful, you'll make any man happy." And that says everything. For him, a man's happiness is a woman's responsibility, and the woman should be happy that she fulfilled this mission. Edit. I didn't expect my post to get so much attention. I can't respond to everyone, so I'll clarify a few things. First, I have no complaints about women who choose to stay home, run the household, or take care of their partner. There is nothing wrong with that. What bothers me is when someone believes this is exclusively a woman's duty. I've heard that phrase too many times. Second, I've had relationships with men who had everything they could want materially, and relationships with those who were at rock bottom but worked every day to improve their lives. Their financial situation does not matter much to me. What matters is the path we could walk together. Third, this colleague I had the conversation with used to be a close friend until he decided to flirt. I know he's unhappy in his marriage and would get divorced if he could. But his wife earns much more, and in case of divorce, he would lose a lot. Now he is planning to change careers and is choosing between several offers. That is why I decided to speak openly with him, although I usually avoid personal topics at work. Thank you so much for watching. Write about your love stories in the comments under the video, and don't forget to check out our other videos. Hugs! Bye!